Hey, what's going on, guys? Right now, I'm with musician Tyler Shea. He's releasing an album in we're looking at early December.
Yep.
And first of all, thanks for coming down to the bar. I know you don't drink. We forced you to drink some rum here just to do this interview.
It's actually rye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. But what can you tell us? This is the album right here, right?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about this album that's coming out in December?
Well, I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be my second album. Recorded all on my own in my apartment on my Mac.
Cool. And what's I was just looking at the track list here. What are some of the things that, like, when you're going to sit down and write a song, is it something that happens to you during the day that you decide to write about, or is it like, how do you go about that process?
It's usually spur of the moment. You know, I'll just be sitting around my guitar, jamming, come up with something cool. Usually the music comes before the words.
Right.
I'll come up with some cool riff and get a melody going in my head, and then I'll write lyrics accordingly, I guess.
Absolutely. Have you ever started working on a song, you didn't think you were going to use it, and then you go back to it later? And
all the time, actually. Yeah. There's a song on the album, Growing Up in Gardens, I'd written or started writing a while ago, and I dropped and I was like, I'm not going to finish this song. And while I was recording, I started playing it and just finished it in minutes. So it's funny how it happens sometimes.
Definitely. What's the longest stretch of time for any of the songs on the album, like from composition to the finalization? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Well, that one song that kind of came back to you probably the longest, but usually the best songs happen, you know, you start it and you're done within 10 minutes. For me, anyway. It's usually my best songs that are finished right away.
Right. If you had to describe your music to somebody who hasn't heard of you before, how would you do that? Is there an artist you'd compare yourself to? Or?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I always find that a difficult question when people ask me.
I apologize.
No. But to define it, I mean, I heard somebody say, use the term modern folk the other day. I kind of thought to myself, like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool, modern folk. But I really look up to artists like Damien Rice. I'm a huge fan of Dave Matthews. Some of my local heroes, Joel Plaskett. I love Joel Plaskett.
Right on. And when you're performing in a venue, because I'm assuming you're going to do some live shows to promote the album, right? What kind of venue do you like to perform in? Do you like the larger crowds or the smaller crowds?
Oh, well, the bigger the better, I guess. But I mean, I don't mind playing with the smaller crowds. Sometimes it's more intimate, interactive, easier to grab the attention. I always find it tough in the city too. There's so many venues in the city, and so many venues designed towards bands that are playing covers and stuff. Sometimes it's harder to find a place that really appreciate your original music, but they're out there, I guess.
And you're from Cape Breton, right?
I am, yeah.
Did you find it easier there to get gigs, or?
Surprisingly, I haven't really done that many shows in Cape Breton. I mean, I've done a few in my hometown.
And why would you? No, we love Cape Breton.
No, I've done a few in my hometown in Louisdale, and it's always fun to go back home. The crowd's always big for that. One summer I did play in Roxbury at Granville Green. I'd opened up a show for Matthew Barber, and that was fun. I'll be going back to Roxbury to Shindigs on the 4th of December to open up a show with a guy named Trevor John Howlett. I guess he's also doing a CD release, so I just looking forward to that.
What about that place, Slippery Hermans? Have you ever performed there?
Smooth Hermans.
Smooth Hermans, yeah.
I've never performed there, but I've heard lots about it. Maybe someday I'll get to.
If everything goes according to plan, right?
Yeah.
Is there an experience that stands out in your mind, performance-wise, while we're talking about that, like a bad experience doing a live show, like where maybe things went wrong, something like that?
Oh my God! I almost fell off the stage one time.
That's not so bad.
No, I wasn't. Actually, my first album, when I released it back in 2006, I believe it would have been a show at Seahorse, and I wasn't used to playing with so many people on stage, and I had a few drinks, and I just stumbled, and I actually thought I was going to lose my balance and fall right off the stage, but I recovered, and I don't think too many people noticed. But.
So it can't get much worse than that, right?
No.
You can say that yourself. Now, you mentioned you had a few drinks. Our show airs at 10 o'clock, but now there's a replay the following day at 3 o'clock. And so if we talk about things that are maybe off color or do anything inappropriate, our editor has to go in and edit a special version for the 3 o'clock show because children could be watching. So when you said drinks,
it was just water.
Water.
With no ice. Yeah.
And of course
This is ginger ale.
Ginger ale, and this is also ginger ale. And that's obviously water,
Yeah.
right? But the opposite of water is this album right here. They can check it out. They can go to your website, right?
Yep, TylerShay.com.
It's amazing that you got that, right? Because a lot of musicians like their websites like MichaelRedden789.com, something like that, right? Where you can't get your actual name, but that's cool that you were able to get that.
Yeah.
So they can check it out and they can probably hear some of the tracks and figure out how to buy the album.
Yeah. There'll be some info on there. It's a little bit under construction. I just had it up and going last week.
Okay, watch this. All right, so it's TylerShay.com, and it's, how do you spell your last name?
SHEA.
All right, check it out, and we'll be right back.